All right, welcome to today's daily vlog, and today I just want to talk about the concept of you are always being evaluated. So no matter what you are trying to do in your walk of life, whether it's business, whether it's marketing, whether it's strength and conditioning, or whether it's accounting, whether it's insurance, whether it's whatever it is, you are always being evaluated, and that isn't just by those who are your superiors, like your bosses or the higher ups. You're being evaluated by everybody. At the end of the day, like Gary Vaynerchuk says, like, you are your own brand. Like you really are your brand, and the way you present yourself, not just nowadays, not just in person, but on social media, like the way that you act, the things that you say, how you carry yourself, the type of confidence that you have, how sociable you are, how humble you are, how unhumble you are. All those things are constantly being evaluated by all around you. And even, when we're talking about my world, like especially that ranges from the kids that I work with, the youth group that I work with, all the way up to the parents of the college athletes that I train. You know what I mean? The college athletes, their parents who are away, they're not around, but they're evaluating me to see like what I'm doing for their son, or what I'm doing for their daughter, or what we're doing, as far as getting these kids to, not just be better physically, but be better people. And this is something that I really want to just that's something that I've been really trying to work on, is getting people and athletes to be better people, to learn about being better humans. And that comes from relentlessness, comes from setting goals, comes from learning how to work, comes from having that passion, that drive to make it so no matter what, you're gonna be there, or you're gonna make it happen, or you're gonna find a way. Because at the end of the day, there's always a way to get it done. And then there's very, very unique situations where it's not that time, but there's a way to get it done. And if you really, really want if you want to reach your goals, there's a way to get it done. And then, all this or whatever you're talking about, that's just you. At the end of the day, it's on you. And that type of mentality, if you talk that talk, if you live that, you got to live that. And the people around you, they're going to be evaluating you. And this comes down to, even as simple as things, the way you stand, how you stand, how you sit. When you're having a conversation with someone, are you looking them in the eye? And, it's hard. Sometimes hard to really be, sitting there and really look somebody in the eye and continue to have a conversation with them that way. It almost seems a little aggressive sometimes. I have to work on this myself. There's times where, especially when, you're working in a group setting, especially for strength and conditioning, at the end of the day, you got to be a high energy guy. You got to be, on point here. And that comes from your preparation. The only way that you can go around and, you can be sound in, the decisions that you make, and, going with something, running with it, or taking something away, or commanding a group of guys to move a certain way, work a certain way, that kind of thing, that takes you being prepared with knowing what you have to do, preparing, knowing that you can get it done. And it's something simple as even, running a rack. Like, if you got 4 guys on a bar, rotating through, a main lift and then 2 supplemental lifts, like, you got to have them running through that lift, like, what I mean, depending on your time constraints, depending on your equipment constraints, depending on, whatever the situation is, however that needs to be done, you got to run that. But you can't take a back seat. That's yours. You got to make it happen. Same thing if you're a personal training, however that looks. And, if what your client needs is they need to kind of, converse with you, and they want to talk with you, you need to guide it in a way that you own the session. You still own the session. You kind of direct them to still get the work done, make sure they're putting in, getting the reps, getting the sets, you're counting them out, giving them that focus, always putting them back on the road. And you might have the others where they might not say a word at all. I trained a 7th grader today, and I think he said a total of like 15 words to me today. But that's fine. Like, I mean, dude, like, we're not here to talk. We're here to work. All I need you to do is listen to me. All I need you to do is listen to me. You work hard. Kid responded to me. Kid listened to me. And at the end of the day, he said he liked the workout. Like, you know what I mean? And that's step one. Now step 2 is getting him to vocalize a little bit, get a communication line opening up. But that's just not who he is, and that'll take time. It takes time because, at the end of the day, I don't know this kid from nothing. You know what I mean? All he knows is that his, parents are paying money for him to come and work out with me. And, he doesn't know that we're not here to work you out, man. We're here to develop you. Like, I want to develop you into a player. I want to develop you physically. I want to develop you mentally. I want to develop you physiologically. I want you to become, the best version of yourself that you can on the court, and the best version of yourself off the court or the field or whatever it is that he decides to do. But you have to own that. You run that, and I had a really good conversation with, my partner over at Muscle Link, and I just think it's something that's really important to understand. It's like, at the end of the day, you're always being watched, and even by the athletes. The athletes are watching how you live. If you have a voluntary workout and you're not there, and you're trying to preach these kids to commit, to be consistent with things, find a way, and you got a volunteer workout but you're not there. Now, granted, you could have had something that was important, and like I said, those very rare occasions that you can't be there, but it better be one of those things. So at the end of the day, you're always being evaluated, so you really got to live how you talk. You got to live what you say. You got to live what you preach. It's not it's not do what I say, it's live as I live. That's how I really try to conduct myself, and I think that that's a good concept to just move forward on the day with. So whatever you're doing tomorrow, just remember, you're being evaluated, not even just from a performance standpoint, but just how you live. And if you want to make a name for yourself or move forward in whatever you're trying to do, gotta take that into account. Have a good night.